As a quick response to Professor Anton video about cocktail party chit chat and some other stuff. I can't remember, I'm sorry Corey, I can't remember the full title. Nor can I remember all the details because as you can see I'm out on the walk with the dogs. There's some great stuff in there, and I think a lot of the differences you identify are absolutely accurate. You know, and in many ways I did misread parts of your video in my response, partly because I was coming at it from a different cultural perspective. You know, university life in Britain is slightly different still from university life, and the pressures are different. But I mean, the important thing, or the significant thing for me at least, about what you were talking about, that I connect with most strongly, is this idea of the cocktail party. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to appropriate that idea for my own purposes. I mean, your cocktail party chit-chat, I love cocktail party chit-chat. I've had a lot of pleasure thinking about cocktail party chit-chat since your video, I suppose. And the idea of the cocktail party, and what an ideal cocktail party would look like. You know, a cocktail party where everyone's invited. When, you know, you can be a wallflower if you want, or you can circulate, or you can work the room, or you can go outside for a cigarette. You know, you can do any of those things that people do at cocktail parties. You can get drunk and make a fool of yourself, dance naked on the table. All these things are available to you in this cocktail party. But how does something like intelligence or knowledge or interest, relevance, whatever, however you want to describe it, how does that operate within the cocktail party atmosphere? I mean, certainly I like the idea of an environment in which there are fewer constraints on what constitutes knowledge processes, knowledge practices. And I think something like a cocktail party is perhaps better than that, than a lecture room, and that's obviously from my own experience. Because certainly, you know, in cocktail parties, you know, of course you do occasionally get some guy who's really entertaining, you know, or just very knowledgeable, or just a gobshite, who, you know, takes over the room for a while, you know, and he draws people around him and gets people on side and maybe tells some jokes. Or maybe it's just a great raconteur, tells a fantastic story, says things that are really interesting and moving and relevant, and you know, just captures the zeitgeist of the room really. So you can kind of imagine that happening in cocktail parties or something like that. But a lot of the time cocktail parties aren't like that. A lot of the time it's just this kind of little kind of hubbub of interaction, this murmuring of ideas and this flowing of ideas through it. You know, and occasionally you can hear something of relevance, whether it be your own name, whether it be something you're particularly interested in, just kind of rising out of that general background murmuring. And you might move towards that sound and engage with it for a while, and then you might let yourself dissolve back into the general soundscape of information that's being produced. Yeah, I quite like that. I like its dynamic nature. I like its freeform, slightly anarchic nature. I say anarchic with inverted commas, because one of the things about cocktail parties is, of course, they're not governed by laws, they're governed by rules of etiquette. People go to cocktail parties knowing that they have to be nice to each other, at least reasonably nice to each other. And that seems like a good basis for a knowledge community to start, really. It isn't to say we can't swear at each other, I think that's absolutely fine. But, yeah. Not sure that makes any sense, really, Corey. I've got a bit of a cold, actually. I've been drinking stuff called Covonia, which is this cough medicine, which I bought from the chemist yesterday, and I feel really floaty as a result. I think it's got either antihistamines in it or something, but I'm kind of half tripping on my walk this morning, which is quite nice, actually. Quite nice. Anyway, thanks very much.